I know.
So no, we're waiting for Emily to come back, and then we can add you and Muriel.
Yes, although I'm a little concerned that we are live right now because it says live. So if we are live, hi everybody. Thank you for tuning in. And we will get started shortly. We are having technical difficulties.
Hi guys, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good Shabbos. How's everyone doing?
Doing good. What about you?
Pretty good, Yaya.
I'm glad. It's good to hear.
Did you guys know it was Shannon and Tyler's birthday yesterday?
I did know. Although
They turned 4.
Good Shabbos, Rabbi Spitz. Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Rabbi.
You.
You're not muted now, but we can't hear you, unfortunately. No, we cannot.
All right. So we're having a bit of technical difficulties, but we have just gotten the heads up from the rabbi to begin. So without further ado, good Shabbos, everyone. Welcome to Shabbat Club, USY Shabbat Club. And we're going to get started on page 10 of the Sidur Lev Shalem with Muriel leading us in Mizmor LaDavid.
I thought I was leading Yedi Nefesh.
All right, Yedi Nefesh, go ahead.
Okay, perfect. Yedi Nefesh
Shemesh av harachaman, Mishoch avdach, Eretz onach. Yarutz avdach, Kemo ayal, Ishtachaveh, Amul hadaracha, Ye'erav lo, Yedid utach, Minofet suf, B'chol ta'am, Aduna eziv ha'olam, Nafshi cholat, ahavatach, Ana elna rifana lach, Beharot lach, Noam zivach, As titchazek, v'titrapeh, v'hayetala, shivchat olam, v'tikveh yehemu, rachamecha, v'chusna, al bein ohavach, ki zeh kama nischof niflaf, lirot b'tiferet uzach, ana eli machmad libi, chusana ve'al titalam, yigalena ufros haviv alav, et sukat shelomach, ta'ir eretz mikevodach, nagila v'nismecha bach, maher ahuv kivamo'eh, bechol nani himei olam. Yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai 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 dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai 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 dai, yadidai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai. Yadidai dai 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 dai, yadidai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai dai dai, yadidai dai 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 dai.
Thank you, Muriel, for starting us off. And next, Leah will lead us in Lechun Ranana on page 11.
Thank you. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Ladonai. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nikadem Apnavetoda, Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Peace Miro, Naria Lo. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Ladonai. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Ladonai. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nekadma Panav Betoda. Naria, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Peace Miro, Naria Lo. Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Lechun Ranana, Ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, l'Adonai.
Thank you, Leah. Please turn to page 12 at the arrow. Arba'im shana akut bedor, ba'omar am toe levavhem, vehem lo yadu drachai, asher nishbati v'api im yavaun el menuchati.
And turn to page 13 for Shiru Ladonai. Shiru Ladonai, Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz, Shiru Ladonai, Baruch Hu Shemo, Basru Me'om, Le'om Yeshuato, Safru Vagoyim Kevodo, Bechol Ha'amim, Nifleotav, Ki Gadol Adonai, Umehulal Me'od, Norahu, Al Kol Elohim, ay, Ki Kol Elohe Ha'amim Elilim, V'Adonai Shemayim Asa, Hod V'Hadar Lefanav, Oz V'Tiferet B'Mikdasho, Havu Ladonai Mishbechot Amim, Havu Ladonai Kavod Va'oz, Havu Ladonai Kevod Shemo, Se'u Mincha, Uvo Ulechatzrotav, ay, Yishtachavu Ladonai, Bechad Rakodesh, Hilu Mipanav Kol Haaretz, Imru Vagoim, Adonai Malach, Aftikon Tevel, Baal Timot, Yadin Amim B'Mesharim, Yismechu Hashamayim B'Tagel Haaretz, Yiram Hayam Umelo, Ya'alo Sadai, Bechol Asher Bo, ay, Az Yiranenu Kol Atzeyar, Lifnei Adonai Kiva, Lishbot Haaretz, Yishbot Tevel Bet Tzedek, Ve'amim Ve'emunato, Yanai, 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 Yai, nai, 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 Yai, nai, 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 Yai, nai, 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 Yai, nai, nai, nai.
Thank you, Shannon. Please turn to page 15. Adonai malach v'takel haaretz, yismechu ayim rabim. We proceed silently. Please turn to page 16 at the bottom. Orzaruach la'tzadik u'yishrelech simcha yismechu tzadikim b'Adonai v'hodu l'secher kodsho. And now Ari will lead us in a reading Psalm 98 on page 20.
Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who call upon the divine name, called you, and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the clouds, and they kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai our God, you were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions.
Thank you. Next, Leah will lead us in Romemu.
Thank you. Romenu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachanu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachanu lehar kodsho. Ki Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romamu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachvu l'har kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachvu l'har kosho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please turn to page 21 for Mizmor LeDavid. Mizmor LeDavid. Havu Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu Adonai kavod va'os, Havu Adonai kevod shemo, Ishtachavu Adonai behadra kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim el hakavod hirim, Adonai amayim amayim rabim. Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et azrei havanon, Vayarkideim kemo egel Levanon, Vesirion kemo vein reimim, kemo vein reimim. Kol Adonai chotzef lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai echol el ayalot, Vayachesof ye'arot, Uvehechalo kulo, Omer kavod, kulo omer kavod. Adonai lama buyashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yevarach et amo v'shalom. Yain and nine nine nine, yain nine 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 nine, yain and nine nine nine, yain nine nine nine. Yain nine 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 nine, yain nine 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 nine. And now Ari will lead us in a reading on page 23.
Page 23, left margin. Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish taught, the day of Shabbat came before the Holy One said, Creator of the world, every day has a pattern. Sunday has Monday, Monday has Tuesday, so on. But I have no pattern. The Holy One replied, Israel shall be your pattern. And when Israel stood at Sinai, God said to them, remember my promise to Shabbat, that Israel will be your pattern. Thus it is written, remember the day of Shabbat to keep it holy.
Now we continue with Lecha Dodi on page 23. Lecha Dodi likra kala, yababai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, yababai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, Leshem u'tiferet ve'litila, Lecha Dodi likra kala, yababai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Lecha Dodi likra kala, yababai, 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 p'nei Shabbat, nekabela. Likrat Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki hi mekor ha'beracha, merosh mikedem nesucha, סוף מעשה במחשבה תהילה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. התנערי מעפר קומי, לפשי בגידי תפארתך עמי, על יד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרוב על נפשי גאלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, יבביי, 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 פני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקמי, מה תשכחי ומה תהמי, בך יחסו ענני עמי, ונפתה עיר אקטלה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. והיו לשמו סוסייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כמשוש חתן הכלה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי ואת אדוני תריצי, על יד איש בין פרסי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, לקראת קלה, פני שבת. Please rise. נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצוהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי, לקראת קלה, לקראת קלה, פני שבת נקבלה. Yai nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, yai nai 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 nai, yai nai nai, yai nai, yai nai, yai nai nai 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 nai, yai nai, yai nai, yai nai 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 nai.
On page 26 is a couple of lines for those who are in mourning. Many of you were students of Mindy Pascal, and her mother, Roz Scher, passed this week. Her funeral was just on Tuesday. And so in honor of Mindy and her husband David and their children and grandchildren, her sister Lisa, her husband Scott and their children and grandchildren, and their brother Larry and his wife Elena and their children and grandchildren, we can extend our condolences. And on page 26, what we say is, Hamakom yenachem etchem betoch sha'ar avalei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the divine comfort you who are in mourning among all of Zion and Jerusalem and on the earth, and may you be strong. And we say, Amen. And with that, I want to just pause to acknowledge that Shannon and Tyler had their birthdays this last week. So a happy 18th birthday to Tyler and Shannon. And with that, Yaira.
All right. Leah, please lead us in Mizmor Shir on page 27.
Thank you. Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat Tov Lehodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon L'Chagid B'Boker Chastecha V'Emunatecha B'Leilat Alei Asor Be'alei Navel Alei Higion Bechinor Mizmor Shir Liyom HaShabbat L'Hodot L'Adonai Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon Ulezamer L'Shimcha Elyon. Please turn to page 28 for Tzadik Katamar. Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Yifrach Tzadik Katamar Yifrach Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Yizke Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Ke'eretz Bavanon Yizke Yizke.
Thank you. And Rabbi, please lead us in Mourner's Kaddish.
Thank you. I again pause to acknowledge the Sher family mourning the passing of their matriarch, Rosh Sher, Rachel Bat Shimon, V'chana Miriam. If there are others observing a yurtzeit or in mourning, I invite you to rise for the first of what will be 2 mourners Kaddish in the course of this evening service. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen, yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam omei maya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'tadar v'talev v'talal shemei dekudsha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata tamiran bi'alma v'imru amen yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen osei shalom b'mrumav hu yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. At CBI, we tend to do our teaching on Friday night between Kabbalat Shabbat, which represents a collection of psalms to help us transition from the work week toward the sacred space of Shabbat. And to help us make that transition tonight is Ava, our teacher.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. In this week's Parsha, Jacob is scared. He is stricken with the guilt of stealing his brother's birthright 20 years earlier and wishes to apologize to him. However, he is hesitant and overcome with fear that Esau will kill him. Jacob, afraid to apologize, runs from his responsibilities. He eventually has a second opportunity to make things right with his brother, so he heads over to his camp to make his apology. When they finally meet again, Esau embraces his brother and forgives him. But what if Jacob didn't apologize? What if he never confronted the harm of his actions? Maybe Esau would have killed him for his wrongdoings, or would have ignored Jacob's attempts at reconciliation. Maybe Esau would have still found the love in his heart to forgive his brother. For me, I see forgiveness as something you do for yourself. In 7th grade, one of my classmates made an anti-Semitic comment about the Holocaust towards me as I was walking home from school. I was taken aback and very upset that someone makes such an inconsiderate and disrespectful comment about such a painful and traumatic event in my religion's past. Not recognizing his mistake, he never apologized. I forgot all about this incident until later this year when that same classmate was in one of my classes and made a very rude comment to me. After a while, I reached the conclusion that my classmate never realized what he said to me was wrong. I was never going to change how he interacted with me. I spent some time questioning if it was even worth forgiving him. After all, he never asked for forgiveness. After pondering that for a while, I came to the conclusion that it was only hurting me to hold a grudge against my classmate. Sure, I was still upset about it, but it was causing me more harm than good to keep my anger inside and have him never apologize. I decided that the only thing I could do was release the anger I had towards him by forgiving him. I think forgiveness can positively impact everyone, both our own souls and others. When we don't allow ourselves to relieve the burden of guilt or anger, we drag ourselves down into the mud, leaving the person who wronged us unaffected. At the same time, forgiveness can also serve as a reminder to the wrongdoer that making mistakes is human nature. Forgiveness promotes growth. And what would this world be without the opportunity to improve and strive towards bettering ourselves? The courage to forgive is just as important as the power to apologize and face our actions. As previously stated, Jacob was scared and believed he was doomed to a life of revenge and hatred from his brother. He feared that forgiveness was not a possibility. However, Esau did forgive him. And from this example, we can learn that the power is in your hands, in all of our hands, to encourage growth and promote love. So this Shabbat, I challenge all of you to do this. Forgive one person in your life who has wronged you, and go say that apology that you have been too scared to make. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That was beautiful, Ava. Thank you for doing the Devar this week. And now we will move on to the Ma'ariv service. So please turn to page 39 for the Baruch Hu, and please rise. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai Baruch
Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. At the arrow, Umavir Yom, Umavir Yom, Umevi Laila, Umavdil Ben Yom, Ubein Laila, Adonai Tzvot Shemo, El Chai V'Kayam, Tamidim Lochaleinu Le'olam Va'ed, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hamariv Aravim. Page 40 for Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Avta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shavcheinu u'vekumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha. V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu v'orech yameinu, v'orech yameinu, hu b'hem negeh yomam v'layla. Yavatecha, al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo le'Yisrael. Page 41 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלבתך בדרך ובשופתך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, ובטחתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Continue silently. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Please turn to page 44 at the arrow. Umalchuto beratzon kiblu aleihem Moshe b'nei Yisrael lechanu shira b'shimcha rabba ve'amru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef eleh Malchutecha ra'u vanecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe Seilianu v'amru Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar kifad Adonai et Yaakov ugoalo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Page 45 for Hashivenu. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Ufros aleinu Sukkot shalomecha Ufros aleinu Sukkot shalomecha. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. At the arrow, please. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu lechaim leshalom yatavi ad olam ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha baruch atah Adonai haforesh sukat shalom aleinu ve'kol amo Yisrael v'ya Yerushalayim. Page 46 for V'shamru. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. B'nei uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot b'ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת, ויהי נפש שבת, ויהי נפש שבת, ויהי נפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית olam. And Ava will lead us in the Chatzi Kadesh. Please rise.
Yitkadash v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. V'amadivach yotei yom lech malchutei. V'chayechon uvyomechon u'chaydeko beit Yisrael. Bagala bagala ubizman kariv v'imuru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach. Le'olam u'me'omaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtapah. V'itramam v'itnaseh. V'ithadar v'ithalal. Shmei kudusha rechu. Le'elam min kol bechata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nemata. Damiram be'alma. V'imru. Amen.
Page 47 for the silent Amidah. I invite you to take this time to do a private prayer or read from the book. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh Shalom. Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael. Okay, you got a 2-second sitting break, and please stand on page 53 for a repetition of the Amidah. Vayechulu hashamayim beharetz v'chol tzevam vayechal Elohim bayom hashvi'i melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi'i mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi'i vayekadesh oto ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim laso. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol, HaGibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Konei Shamayim Ba'aretz, Magen Avot Bidbaro, Mechaye Metim B'Mamarom, Ha'el HaKadosh she'ein kemohu, Hameniach le'amo, B'yom Shabbat kodsho, Kivam ratza le'aniach lahem, Kivam ratza le'aniach lahem, Lefanan abor birafadach, V'nodeh lishmo bechol yom tamid, Me'en habrachot. El hahodaot Adon hashalom Mekadesh hashabat Muvarech Shevi'i Umeniach bikdusha Le'amek dushtei oneg Zecher lemase bereshit Eloheinu Belohei Avotenu Retzei Bimnuchatenu Kadeshenu Bemitzvotecha Betein Chelkenu Betoratecha Sapeinu Mituvecha Vesamchenu Bishuatecha Vetaher Libeinu Liovdecha Be'emet V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu B'ahava u'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha V'anuchu v'Yisrael Mekadeshei shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Shannon leads us in the Kaddish Shalom.
Yikada v'yikada shemei Rabbi, be'amad yivrach yurtei, be'amlich malchutei, b'chayachonim yom echonim, b'chayedechu beit Yisrael, b'galau v'zman kari be'imeru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbi mevorach, be'olam l'amei omaya. Yibarach v'yishabach, v'yipa'ar v'yitraman v'yinaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitilal shemei dekudashah. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram be'ama ve'imeru. Tika batla tahoni batachon dechol Yisrael kodama v'hon divishmai ve'imeru. Yehesh lama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru. Amen. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol. Please rise. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol. Lateit gedula le'etzer breshit. Shelo asanu kegoye haratzot. Velo samanu kemishbechot ha'adama. Shelo sam chelkenu kachem. Vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. V'anachnu koreim. Umishtachavim umodim. Lifnei melech. Malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu shehu noteh shamayim be'osed aretz u'moshe bikaro b'shamayim ima'al u'shchinatu zo begavhei meromim hu Eloheinu ein od Emet Malkeinu Efesuato, Kakatu Betorato, Betatayom, Behashimotav, Elevadecha, Ki Adonai Hua Elohim, Bashamayim Ima'o, Ve'al ha'aretz, Mitachat, Einod, Einod. Kakatu betoratecha, Adonai himlach le'olam ba'ed, V'nemar, V'haya Adonai, Le'melech al kol ha'aretz, Vayom hahu, Yihyeh Adonai echad, Ushemo, echad.
Mourner's Kaddish is on page 58. And once again, as this is the week of Shiva for Mindy Pascal, her sister Lisa Miller, and their brother Larry Sher, we honor the memory of Raz, Rachel Bat Shimon, V'chana Miriam, as anyone observing a yurtzeit or in mourning joins together. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, V'alma divra kirute v'yamlich malchute, V'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach, le'olam ome'el maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. Let me just share a couple of things before USY may have some announcements to share as well. I just want to say to the USYers who've led tonight, it was wonderful to share this service with you. I have seen the growth in your leadership. It was great to see more people participating and to watch your enthusiasm, even when your sound was off, sharing in what was being presented to everybody in Congregation B'nai Israel and even beyond our borders. So again, to USYers, I want to thank Ava for being our teacher tonight. As I mentioned to you, Mindy Pascal is watching tonight. I spoke to her earlier today, and she shared with me her deep satisfaction as having been many of your teachers, teaching you the prayers for Friday night. And so in this week in which she's mourning her loss of her beloved mother, you, I know, have brought her much joy. And I want to thank Emily Fisher, our youth advisor, for continuing to move us forward, getting stronger each month. Only one little announcement on the synagogue at large side. Two things to know. Service is tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, which I will lead from the synagogue with Amy Robinson Katz. And to find out all of our activities, which are classes and services throughout the week, www.cbi18.org. And with that, I turn it over to our youth advisor, Emily, and to our president, Shannon Moss, our birthday person with her brother of the week.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I want to say hello to all of the Heritage Point residents who are joining us tonight and thank Shelley Malman in advance for being our speaker tonight as we go into a December Sado project together. So I'm looking forward to making that connection. We also, in addition to the Seder event that is next Saturday night, the 12th, after Shabbat ends, we also have upcoming Machar and Kadima events every Sunday at 12:45, which is a new time. They were formerly at 12:15. So keep track of the new time. And of course, we have our Tuesday lounges every Tuesday night at 6:30. Shannon, are there any regional announcements you'd like to make?
This past month, we had our regional encampment, which was great. And I'm so happy. We had a wonderful turnout. It was online. I got to see all my friends. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably made new friends, as did I. And there's nothing new coming up. Last night, we actually had a regional event. It was a baking bash, and teams got to bake. It was led by Ava Peter and one other USYer, and it was super fun. And I'm really excited to see where the rest of the year goes with the region and chapter.
All right, so without further ado, please turn to page 62 for Yigdal. Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yishtabach nimsa v'yein et el metziuto echad v'yein yachid keichudo nelam v'gam ein sof lehachduto ein lo demut haguf ve'ein lo guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmon l'chol davar asher nivra lishron v'ein reshit lereshit Hino Adon Olam v'chol notzar Yoreh gedulato u'malchuto Shofet nivulato netano el Anshe segulato v'tifarto Lo kam ve'Yisrael kemoshe od Navia u'mabit et temunato Torah temet natan le'amo el Ayad nevi'o neman beto Lo yachalif ha'el velo yamir dato leolamim lezulato sofev yodeat setarenu mabit lesof davar bekadmato gomel leish chesed kemifalo noten lerasha ra kirishato yishlach l'ketz yamin meshichenu lifdot mechaykeket yeshuato Metim Yechayael Baruch Hasto Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato Metim Yechayael Baruch Hasto Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato.
Special thank you to Yaira for her leadership, and to all our USYers. Thank you for each of you participating so strongly tonight. And to all the people watching and sharing in this service, a wish of Shabbat Shalom, a Shabbat of rest and joy for all. Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Now we will go into the Kiddush very quickly. Get your Kiddush cups, and here we go. Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayech Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayekadesh oto ki bo Shabbat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim laso savri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaaseh bereshit ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh zecher letziat Mitzrayim Kivanu bacharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Again, thank you, Yaira and Ava, Shannon, Tyler, Muriel, Ari and Leah and Emily. Shabbat Shalom.